Hello and welcome to Tello Community Television. My name is Jacqueline Giroir and today we're going to be chatting with artist Elaine Mendrona. Elaine is a retired massage therapist from Stratford, Connecticut, and she moved to New Brunswick in the 1970s and now lives in Cape Breton in Petit de Gras on the beautiful island of Ville-Madame. She now paints, sculpts, blogs, and has written a children's book. Elaine is here today to share a bit about her work and to celebrate an art show that she and a fellow artist, Andrea Kirchfeld, will be having in St. Peter's on the 18th and 19th of May. Welcome, Elaine. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey up the East Coast?
Okay, well, I grew up in Stratford, Connecticut, and left when I was 18 and went to university, and then after graduating university decided I wanted an adventure. So I moved up here with my husband. My husband I had then, he's now my ex-husband, and we wanted to become back to the landers. We were drawn to, the beauty of nature in Canada and wanted to be self-sufficient. So I did that for many years, like 30 years or so. Mm-hmm. And then met my Archie, who's my husband now, and we moved to Moncton and were there for 15 years, and then decided we wanted to be closer to the ocean and ended up in Cape Breton because it was the best darn ocean we ever saw. So
Nice, nice. Can you tell us a little bit about your art and what you do and how you do it?
Okay. Well, I do a little bit of everything, as you mentioned. I really like watercolors because they're so unpredictable and so full of light that, they're very translucent if you use them in that way. So that's my primary media, but I also use acrylics and paint on wood. And usually it's wood that's been sustainably harvested that has an interesting grain. So I'll paint on that with acrylics, see where the pattern takes me. So it could be a landscape, it could be an animal or a bird, whatever. I also like sculpting, and I use clay. It's an air dry clay, and sculpt birds mostly and other creatures. I made an octopus.
Nice.
And a crab. So I also do that. I've always loved fabric. I've sewn since I was a child, since I was 10 years old. So I continue to make things also out of fabric, mostly birds. I make toys for my grandson now, dolls and other things, wall hangings. And I like printing. I like doing it all. So
lots of mixed media.
It's
then.
mixed media.
Yeah.
Experiment with a lot of different things, and each thing I do informs the other things I do. So.
And when you say sustainably harvested, are you combing the shores? Is that what you're doing for wood? Or?
Well, I do use driftwood, but the sustainably harvested wood comes from some property that I own in New Brunswick.
Okay.
And we did cut some trees to, encourage hardwood growth and take out the trees that are, dying or too old. So those trees get cut up and used either for firewood, or if there's interesting grain in the wood, I'll paint on it.
Nice.
Yeah, my husband does that. He cuts the wood and mills it up.
So you partner in crime with art.
Definitely, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to you now to be an artist in Cape Breton? Because you weren't always practicing your art as something that was like a daily adventure, right? You were...
No. Years ago I had a stained glass studio, but that was more making small ornaments for production and to, make a living, basically. I didn't really feel I had the time or the environment to really pursue that as an art. So now that I'm retired and here in Cape Breton and surrounded by so much beauty, visual beauty, it's an inspiration to me that it never gives out. So that Cape Breton has that going for it. But also it's difficult because of the distances and the small population. It's difficult to connect with other artists or even take courses or give workshops, anything like that you'd want to do. So part of what I also would like to accomplish is to create more networks with artists and more events and maybe even a center or a gallery. I don't know. I have a lot in the back of my mind is what I would like to do with that. So Cape Breton is, it's opportunity and it's inspiration.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what does it mean for you to be able to showcase your art here too?
Well, that was an incredible gift and sort of kismet in a way. We were offered a space by a new massage therapist in St. Peter's, who he's just started out last October. And he first connected with Andrea, my friend, who is also going to be part of the exhibit. And he offered his space to have a show because he has a very large clinic and his walls were bare, and said, well, why don't you have a show here? So
Right.
it was perfect. It looks out on the water. There's lots of light. It's a beautiful environment. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty grateful for
And
that
an environment
opportunity.
you'd be comfortable in too,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly,
you were a
yeah.
massage therapist.
Yeah, it's like all these
It's just like,
coincidences. like-
yeah, come full circle a little bit, yeah.
yeah.
You're also a blogger, so you're talking about building a network. Can you tell us a little bit about your blog or your website?
It's actually an online magazine. It's called The Scrape. And my husband and I started it be over a year ago now. I can't remember exactly when. And we decided we were interested in the arts in Cape Breton because we see a lot of people making things and a lot of people, doing various aspects of things with their hands, be it fiber arts or wood carving or painting. And we wanted to encourage that more because we thought it was important because a lot of people do that to make extra money or just to, not so much fill the time, but it's important. Creativity is important.
Yes.
And we'd like to encourage that.
And share the stories.
And share the stories
Right.
and encourage small business, all those things wrapped into one kind of thing. So we decided we'd like to feature local artists and artisans to give them a boost. We do this just for, our own, I don't know what you'd call it.
Well, it's a form of self-promotion, but also a form of networking.
Yeah,
yes? So-
exactly. Not only self-promotion, but promote other people. Like it's sort of a
yeah, artist self-promotion.
giving back.
Yes.
Giving
yeah,
back.
Yeah.
It's always important to give back to a community.
Absolutely.
We feel, or give to a community. So we started out, and we've done, I don't know, maybe 20 different articles on various types of artists and artisans, and makes people feel good about what they do, and they can use it to promote themselves. Use it on their websites or their social media.
Yeah.
So we will continue to do that, and maybe take it a few steps further in terms of, creating a network or a group, or like I say, maybe a center. We don't know where it's going to go. So.
Yeah, and I think you're right. There's so many people that are making beautiful things every day, but there's not a lot of people that know about it because it's very localized.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is the farmers markets, or is the
Yeah.
so to have that spread a little bit more, so people are informed about all the things we have to celebrate locally is great. Yeah.
Exactly, and there aren't that many venues either. Like there are the markets, but there aren't that many places in this neck of the woods. Maybe in Sydney there are some, or Antigonish, but in this neck of the woods, not so many venues to showcase things.
True.
It's starting more. The St. John Center for the Arts is going to have an art show soon, and also La Picasse.
Yes.
So I think, it's something that people want to see and they want to participate in a community. So
I think
we
that'd be
want to be a
great.
part of that and help foster that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you brought your book today, so
I-
can you tell us a little bit about the book that you wrote?
Okay. I wrote this for my grandson, who is now 2 years old, and it's called Wyatt's Woods. Should I hold this up somewhere?
If you'd like, you
Yeah.
can turn it around and let's just
Wyatt's
see.
Woods.
Yeah. Just hold it up a bit. Yeah, there we go.
And again, it's an environmental theme. I consider myself an environmental artist. I like to show the beauty and the significance of natural environments. So I wrote this book because I mentioned previously I had some land in New Brunswick, and it's a beautiful piece of property. It's mixed Acadian forest, and it's quite pristine. It hasn't been cut over or anything like that. And
Nice.
I own it with my daughter now, and it will pass to him. So it's a book about that property, and how I would like him to. Every time I talk about this, I want to cry.
Oh no! So very
But I
near and
won't.
dear to your heart.
I won't. But anyway,
Okay.
it's about this piece of property that I want him to look after.
Yeah.
So it's about the passing of the seasons and how Wyatt's Woods is quiet, except for all the music in the woods.
Right. So a dream of stewardship then for
Yeah,
your grandson.
A dream of stewardship.
That's lovely. Lovely. So your showcase in St. Peter's on May 18th and 19th involves not only you, but your friend and fellow artist, Andrea Kirchfeld.
Right.
And she was supposed to join us today, but wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. So could you tell us a little bit about her and her work and what she'll be showcasing?
Okay. Well, Andrea's a new friend. I met her last winter when we were doing an article about what's the name of the place? Pepperell Place. She was going to have a gallery there, and there are a number of artists that we wanted to interview through our magazine, The Scrape, which is our vehicle
Right.
for connecting with other artists. So Andrea was one that said, yes, I would like an article. So we wrote an article about her, and went to her home and saw her art. And we have several things that resonated between us: the concern for the environment, the love of the beauty of the area. She's from Germany. She came all the way here to live in Cape Breton.
Yes.
So obviously it struck her as quite beautiful as well. It took her by storm, so to speak. So anyway, her paintings are different than mine, whereas I work small and light. Her paintings are very large and they're more abstract. They're not representationally. She doesn't depict things representationally in particular. She likes to depict energies of nature or nature spirits, things like that. So they're very big. The colors are very bold. They're very interesting. It seems almost like there's a presence in the room with these large, energetic paintings. And they're really nice. And she's also self-taught. She likes to work outdoors. She doesn't work plein air, in terms of she's painting the outdoor environment, but being outside gives her energy for making these large paintings of nature, nature spirits, nature energy.
I think that's part and parcel of living here, is liking to be outside.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to like it. Yeah, you
for
do
sure.
have to like it.
Would you, oh, sorry. I want to start that question again. The name of the show is Quickening Light, the Radiance of Nature. What does quickening light mean to you and to Andrea, if you know, and how is that represented in your work?
Okay, well, we took a long time getting a name. It was a lot of back and forth. I think names are important, and you have to be specific about how you name things. So quickening light, quickening is the meaning the first meaning of quickening, or quick in the English language, is alive. So it's about the living light in all things. And it can also mean to quicken, to have a sudden inspiration or a realization on your path, on your spiritual path. So we want to celebrate the life that's in all living things, and also help people realize that, we have to love this stuff and preserve it, or, we're not going to have it, or even a place to live, maybe. We don't know what's going to happen with the environment. But it's more about people shifting their awareness and finding their own way to honor the environment and nature and the life and the energy that sustains us all.
Right.
So the quickening light is light that is alive.
Lovely. And so then the message you're wishing to convey maybe would be to cherish that light.
Yeah, to cherish it, to stop and observe and look at things. Like nature isn't a commodity. It's what sustains us. There's something almost sacred about. Well, I would call it sacred, but not everyone would. But yeah.
Cool. I can't wait to take in the show.
Okay.
I'm very interested. I've seen some of your work and Andrea's work online, and so I'd like to do that. So I want to thank you very much for joining us today and for sharing about yourself and about your work and a little bit about Andrea. It was a pleasure talking with you, and I wish you both lots of luck in your showcase on May 18th and 19th. So the art show is called Quickening Light. It is May 18th and 19th in St. Peter's at the Strong Hands Massage Therapy Clinic. And I'm hoping to see lots of nature lovers and art lovers there. Have a good day.
Thank you.